What are some of the big talking points you've been having with some of the attendees that have approached your stand?
So I think nowadays what we're hearing from most people is that we've kind of gotten to the other side of digital transformation, and people are realizing that the only way they can communicate with their customers nowadays is digitally. And because of that, the only way that they can really listen and learn what their customers want is through data. And that is the biggest challenge we're running into. And most people are telling us that it's just too hard nowadays to actually perceive the signals that they're getting from their customers. So I actually did a talk on data storytelling because a lot of times, even if they are able to understand, they're having a hard time communicating that effectively to their executives.
Yeah, makes sense. And obviously, you mentioned data storytelling. What is that, and what does it entail, and how can it make how can it help organizations better understand their customers?
So data storytelling is a weird art of people who love numbers and love data having to be forced to actually communicate with stakeholders and executives about what the data is telling them. And one of the things I talked about in my session, and I've talked about in the 25 years I've been doing analytics, is collecting data doesn't do anything unless you take action on the data. If you're not using the data, turning it into insights, and then using those insights to affect change so that people are having better digital products or better digital experiences, then you're not getting anywhere. And the way that you get those executives to buy off on changes that you're making to your website or mobile app is through data storytelling. I kind of joke that, the analogy of an iceberg where 10% of it is above the water. A lot of people at this conference came up to me after my session and said, we're focused on all the stuff that's under the water, and we don't actually ever get to do the stuff above the water, or we're not really good at it. But that's the part. If you can't do good data storytelling and you can't take action on the data, then all the work you're doing to collect the data, analyze the data is all useless.
One of the other big topics we're seeing at the conference today is AI. Does that play a role in the way organizations are managing their data?
Yeah, AI is really important nowadays, but I'll take a step back. So the problem with data and analytics is that it's so difficult nowadays for people who are data consumers. There's usually a team of people at a company who are really good at analytics, but if you really want hundreds of people at your company doing analytics, and that's one of the kind of really cool things and reasons I joined Amplitude, is I worked for many years with different analytics packages. I actually wrote the book on Adobe Analytics, and one of the complaints that we get all the time from analytics tools and vendors is it's just so hard to use. We actually just launched last week something called Amplitude Made Simple, and it's basically the whole point is we want everyone to be able to use analytics, and so we are using AI in our products. You could actually just type a question and Amplitude will automatically pick the chart and just give it to you, and then you can ask a follow-up question, kind of like you do with ChatGPT or Perplexity. And we're finding that that's making it really easy for people to actually disseminate the information, because if only a couple people at the company know what's happening on the website and mobile app, you're not going to affect change. It's only when you get a groundswell of people who are all using the data that you really can get to the higher level of success.
If you could use one song to describe your passion for data, what would it be and why?
So I'd say my song would be a little bit weird. I would probably do Under Pressure, but it's not about my passion for data, but it's about my passion is how do I help organizations to use data to be more effective? And I feel like so many people I talk to are under so much pressure right now that they feel like either they're going to be laid off, or their job is going to go away, or their business is going to go away because weird economy and so on. And they're just struggling to figure out how do they turn data into insights, into action. And they just are under this immense pressure. And that song just keeps going in my head, and they keep coming to us and be like, can you help us, Amplitude? We need to find a way to turn this data into action. And that's one of the things that's really cool about Amplitude is we have customers who are, improving their conversion funnels by X%, doubling their growth. And it's just fun to be part of a company that we're actually part of the solution and not part of the problem.
For the latest tech insights, visit em360tech.com.